"Have you seen the giant?" the men asked. "He comes out each day to defy Israel. The king has offered a huge reward to anyone who kills him. He will give that man one of his daughters for a wife, and the man's entire family will be exempt of paying taxes." David asked the soldiers standing nearby, "What will a man get for killing this Philistine and ending his defiance against Israel? Who is this pagan Philistine anyways, that he is allowed to defy the armies of the living God?" And these men gave David the same reply, and they said, "Yes, that is the reward for killing him." But when David's older brother, Eliab, heard David was talking to the men, he was angry. "What are you doing here anyway?" he demanded. "What about those few sheep you're supposed to be taking care of? I know your pride and deceit. You just want to see the battle." "What have I done now?" David replied. "I was only asking a question." He walked over to some other soldiers and asked them the same thing and received the same answer. Then David's question was reported to King Saul, and the king sent for him. "Don't worry about this Philistine," David told Saul. "I'll go fight him." "Don't be ridiculous," Saul replied. "There's no way you could possibly fight this Philistine and win. You're only a boy, and he's been a man of war since his youth." But David persisted. "I've been taking care of my family's sheep and goats," he said. "When a lion or a bear comes to steal a lamb from the flock, I go after it with a club and rescue the lamb from its mouth. If the animal turns on me, I catch it by the jaw and I club it to death. I have done this to both lions and bears, and I'll do it again to this pagan Philistine. For he has defied the armies of the living God. The Lord, who rescued me from the claws of the lion and the bear, will rescue me from this Philistine." Saul finally conceded. "All right, go ahead, and may the Lord be with you." Then Saul gave David his own armor. David put it on, strapped the sword over it, and took a few steps to see what it was like, for he had never worn such a thing before. "I can't go in these," he protested to Saul. "I'm not used to them." So David took them off again. He picked up 5 smooth stones from a stream and put them into his shepherd's bag. Then, armed with only his shepherd's staff and a sling, he started across the valley to fight the Philistine. Goliath walked out towards David, his shield bearer ahead of him, sneering in contempt at this ruddy-faced boy. "Am I a dog," he roared to David, "that you come at me with a stick?" And he cursed David by the names of his gods. "Come over here, and I'll give your flesh to the birds and the wild animals," Goliath yelled. David replied to the Philistine, "You come to me with sword, spear, and javelin, but I come to you in the name of the Lord of heaven's armies, the God of the armies of Israel, whom you have defied. Everyone assembled here will know that the Lord rescues his people, but not with sword and spear. This is the Lord's battle, and he will give it to us." And Goliath moved closer to attack. David quickly ran out to meet him. Reaching into his shepherd's bag, taking out a stone, he hurled it with his sling and hit the Philistine in the forehead. The stone sank in, and Goliath stumbled and fell to the ground.